Okay, Bold and the Beautiful fans, we got to talk about what happened in yesterday's episode. I know I'm a little bit late. I feel a lot better than yesterday. Thank you for all of the warm wishes, to get well wishes. I really, really, truly appreciate it. But we got to talk about this. First of all, we get to see a romantic scene between Carter and Katie. We see that Taylor gets firsthand information only from Brooke that Thomas got fired. And then after the expose of Sheila revealing herself to Steffy and Finn, Bill comes to Sheila's aid. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless, and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Bold and the Beautiful recap from December 27th. And without any further ado, let's talk about what happened in this episode. So let's talk about Katie and Carter first. So they head over to his office. They were soaking wet. They were planning to toast to her health and dance under the stars, but the rain got in the way. Now he knows where a bottle of wine is, but suggests that they get out of the wet clothes first. Now she reminds him that there are dryers downstairs and suggests that he just drop his shirt in one. She wanted to see that hot bod. And as he unbuttons, she's shivering. I'm wondering if she's shivering because she's cold and wet, or she's shivering because what he's about to reveal. But yeah, she's looking as if he's stripping down to warm up. Now, Katie thanks Mother Nature as he takes off his pants. And then Katie takes their clothes to the dryers and then returns with robes for them. He pops a cork and they toast to her and they kiss. Okay, so I think I'm about to go on a little bit of a rant in this particular scene. So Taylor shows up at Forrester Creations talking to Brooke about bad weather. However, Brooke invited her there to talk about Thomas. Now, she explains to Taylor that he was voted out of the company tonight. Taylor gasped. She's shocked. Brooke was like, the vote was unanimous. Taylor is sure that her son is devastated, but she understands. Okay, let me stop right there. First of all, why is Brooke even being the one to deliver this information to Taylor? Ridge had the final say. Ridge is Thomas's father. Taylor is Thomas's mother. Why wouldn't you either forewarn her, or instead of her getting Taylor to come outside in this thunderstorm to the office for Brooke to drop the news, he should have did that himself. Ridge should have been like, you know what? Hey, I know, we have our issues between you and I know that we, a lot have happened, but I just want to let you know we're kicking Thomas to the curb. Taylor should have been one of the first people to know that. Number one, that's her son. Why is everybody else knowing that? Okay, and just say she wasn't the first one to know. Even after the meeting, Taylor should have gotten that information from Ridge, either before or after, not from Brooke. The other part of this thing is she understands. Now, granted, she don't appreciate what happened, that Thomas did these things to Brooke. She claims that in yesterday's episode, she's seeing things from a different perspective these days. And she said, oh, Thomas isn't a bad person. He just makes bad decisions. And, Brooke is looking like, nah, he's a bad person. Really, Brooke? Now, she can't blame Brooke for not wanting to see him around the office. My question is, what does Brooke actually do at Forrester Creations? Now, I know Katie works there in PR. Donna works there as a receptionist. What does Brooke do there? And her daughter works for Hope for the Future. Is that the problem of it? Okay, whatever. So Taylor thinks that the bright spot in all of this is them realizing happiness does not depend on Ridge. This is not about Ridge right now. This is about your son right now. Now, they talk about how great it feels to choose themselves. Taylor is feeling fulfilled, I should say, and she's sure nothing would mess that up for her, well, other than Sheila. And then they get this lightning in the background, and both of them are jumpy because Sheila is on the other side of town. And we'll talk about that next. But yeah, I just wish that actually Ridge was the one, or even Steffi. Steffi knew what was going on that night, even though she was at home with her husband. She could have told her mom. You was about transparency and being open. Steffi or Ridge should have dropped this information to her mom, to their mom and his ex, not Brooke. Moving on. So we left off with Monday's episode where Sheila burst in. Now, here's my thing. Here's a little bit of a rant with this scenario, too. Number one, why don't you lock the doors if you know that you're about to get busy? That made no sense to me. You lock the doors for that, period. Your bedroom door, your house door. There's no way Sheila should have been able to just walk in. But as I said in Monday's episode, nobody locks their doors on this show. However, after she burst in while Steffy and Finn are making out on their sofa, Steffi leaped across the room. Sheila has no weapons. She tells them that she want to live in peace and harmony with the family. Finn was like, you're not family and you're going to prison. Now, Steffi accuses her of stalking them, and Sheila keep repeating that she's not a threat. Now, she insisted that she did all of this for her son. She just wanted to explain. Now, Finn reminds her that she shot him and his wife. Again, if Steffi had just left after she saw what Thomas was conspiring with Sheila with, and confronted her brother and told her father and told her husband, let me see. She trying to think she was taking control of that situation that blew up in her face because you're trying to fight with a psychopath. Your husband wouldn't have tracked you down with that GPS, ran in like a crazy person, and ended up getting shot. Now, granted, Sheila shouldn't have shot neither one of them, so she don't get a pass for that. But the actions that led up to that, Steffi did not have to be in that situation. And that's the one thing that Sheila's talked about as, hey, she said it happened in that alley. Steffi kept pushing. Now, Sheila is begging Finn to hear her out for the last time. She reminds him that she could have gotten away easily, but she stayed because she needed her son to understand her. Steffi is just flustered. Sheila keeps repeating that shooting them was unintentional. Now, she's sure they despise her, but she thinks that coming back was not a mistake. She still loves Finn, and nothing's going to change that. Now, things would be so different if they would just accept her so they can move forward. Steffi thinks that she's insane, and Finn is determined that she paid for the crime. Now, he insists that she's going to prison. They tell her there's nowhere to run. Sheila complains that people are always underestimating her. And Sheila said that she's used to people telling her she's going to prison, but it never happens. Now, Finn tells his wife to get a rope and then try to bind Sheila's arm. And then this happened.
Here's some rope in the top drawer.
Oh, here, wait, you want to tie me up?
Yeah. You don't realize evil that you have brought into our lives.
Here.
You shot me and my wife. You left us for dead. It's over, Mother. Right here, right now. You hear me?
Bill!
Okay, so Bill suddenly appears and we see Sheila smiling. That makes no sense. When did that happen? When did they connect? I mean, from what we saw, the timeline after Steffi running into Sheila at Irgiardino, the whole car chase where she was, I don't know, lost and got away. Then she ended up smiling, standing in Beverly Hills. How did we end up here where Bill shows up and it looks like he's coming to her aid? Make that make sense. Was that a phone call? Because the last thing we remember with Bill is when he saved Finn, used his personal jet to get Finn over to Europe to get with Steffi and reunite. Now, all of a sudden, because things didn't work out with Katie and she's moved on with Carter, Brooke decides to choose herself, I guess, not only with Ridge, but with Bill, too. She don't want him either. Then he decides to go to the dark side and team up with Sheila. Make that make sense. When did he have a change of heart? And why was that the cause? The other thing is, when did the connection between Sheila and Bill happen? Was it after she left Deacon's? Because remember, she's been having her little friends with benefits situation with Deacon Sharp all this time. And remember, Bill can't stand Deacon. We also didn't see any phone calls, any connections. Yeah, we know it's a soap. Before anybody jump down in my comment section, it's just a soap. We know it's a soap. But it's just interesting how you make it make sense. Maybe they'll give us some type of context after this episode. We got to see what happens today. But yeah, I did not expect that. I heard people talking about it. I also heard him teaming up with Thomas too. So is this the beginning of everything that Bill is going to do to really upset the Forresters and his sons, the Spencers and the Logans? So we have to stay tuned and find out. Okay, so there you have it, your bold and the beautiful recap for Tuesday, December 27, 2022. Thank you guys so much for the delay. I really appreciate you guys. And again, thanks for the get well wishes. And I do feel a lot better than yesterday. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take a second to make sure you subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to like and share. We'll see you next time. Bye.